I'm going to tell you straight up. You know how I know for a fact they didn't give a fuck about Goldberg's retirement match, and it was just something for Triple H to do to sell a marquee match? As soon as he lost, they cut to ads for 5 minutes. Then they came back. Everybody's in the ring. He's doing his thank you speech, which lasts 25 to 40 seconds on my screen, and they cut back to ads, and then it was over, and just giving me a preview of a Charlotte Flair documentary or something, and that was it. It cut.
Yeah. No, that I saw that too. It was just Goldberg saying, "Oh, thank you for everything," and then
he was still talking, and they cut him off.
They play that thing at, like, I swear, at the end of every PLE or pay-per-view.
On Peacock, they do. On Peacock, they do.
They play that and a Becky Lynch one.
I wish they'd stop having these stupid fucking PLEs on Peacock. I wish they could give the PLE rights to Netflix.
Yeah,
because this ad bullshit is just ruining my. I mean, half my fun went out the window when I missed the majority of Solo versus Jimmy.
It was a good match.
I missed about 5 minutes of Seth versus LA Knight, and it kept freezing on my ads. I had to restart my PS5, close the app twice, and then every time I closed the app and went back to try to get back to the match, I'd have to sit through ads again. Peacock's fucking show ads.
Oh no!
One of them was a minute, was 130 seconds.
I'm echoing.
Well, I didn't have any. I only had one issue, and it was during Seth versus LA, and it froze. So I just got out of the thing, and then went back in. I only sat through once, like 1 or 2 ads, and then I was back.
Yeah, it
that's because I'm on Xbox.
It froze on me from Seth and LA for 5 minutes, and on that match, I actually had to restart my fucking PS5.
I didn't have to restart my Xbox.
And it's not even my PS5. That's their broadcast. That's the Peacock app, and their broadcasting having an issue. Aggravated the crap out of me, ruined all my fun. Now I'm wondering what the experience trying to enjoy Evolution tomorrow is going to be like.
Well, the last time I had a problem during a PLE was Bash in Berlin, I think.
I usually don't have issues, but I'm telling you, these PLEs would be so much better if they were just on Netflix, because Netflix seems to have pretty seamless streaming.
That's only for the international people, though, like people in Australia or people in like the UK. That's only for them. They get special treatment.
Well, I mean, I don't even get commercials on Netflix. That's why I want them to give it to Netflix.
Well, Tommy's not here, but Tommy's on the comments. He said at least I can watch, but he said we're echoing, but we're not. I think we're doing good. If we sound weird or if we're echoing, can anyone in the comments please let us know, because I don't hear no echo. I think we're good.
Yeah.
So I
do hear slight like reverberation even in my headphones, but I'm on my cardioid mode, so I'm only on my single directional mode at the moment, so I don't know what's going on.
Nah, I just heard our live stream on X, and it sounds good, so I think we're fine.
All right.
Turn my light on real quick, because it's about that time that it's getting dark over here.
Yeah, you got some mass exposure going on, but
oh, did I?
No, exposure, nigga, exposure as in the light source.
Oh,
you look whiter than rice. God damn!
I thought you saw my bulge or something. My bad. I didn't know what you were talking about, blood. Damn, you got to be more specific.
How much have you had to drink tonight, Snug?
Let me see. Let me count. I've been watching wrestling since like 10 a.m. and I've been drinking this whole entire time. So you do the math.
Is that
okay?
whiskey?
Wait, hold on. No,
is that whiskey? Is that Scott? What is that?
The first thing that came on today was All In, and you said that came on at noon. So you've been watching it since 12 p.m.
the main show started at noon, but they had a 0 hour that started at like 10 a.m. or something like that.
What is a 0 hour?
That's like
it's
pre-show.
The pre-show.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've been watching wrestling for like fucking at least 8 hours today.
I told you it was going to be a content-heavy fucking weekend.
Yeah.
What you got in that rum and coke, or what's going on?
Yeah, a little tequila.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, I had to take a break last night. I didn't, we didn't do SmackDown last night, so today, because I knew today I was gonna go hard.
Yeah. So, you were at a Ludacris concert anyway, so.
Yeah, and my wife did the drinking last night for the both of us. So
I saw.
today it's my turn. What up, Elwood? Shout out to Elwood on the comments.
You know what? I'm gonna go get some lemonade just because you were talking about alcohol.
Shout out to Jaquan. What do you think about Hangman Adam Page winning? I think it was the right call. I actually didn't watch the main event because, crazy enough, the show AEW All In was so long that it overlapped the start time for Saturday night's main event. I thought at least it was going to be over around 4:00. That means it was going to be a 4-hour show, but it went over 5 p.m. So by the time Saturday night's main event started, AEW All In was still happening. It was still like in the main event.
And I guarantee you they did that on purpose because they felt like WWE was trying to counter-program them, so they were trying to keep their show running longer into the start of WWE's program. Because there's no reason to have an 8 to 10 fucking match card. That's insane for All In.
It was way more than fucking 8 matches, dude.
Because it was like originally supposed to be like an 8-match card. What did it end up being, like 10?
Isn't All In?
It's not fucking WrestleMania.
Well, it was
like All In AEW's WrestleMania.
Yeah, it is. It was at least 11 matches that I can remember off the top of my head.
That is stupid when it's not split when it's not split into 2 fucking nights like WrestleMania is. Because here's the problem: they do All In, and then don't they do All Out like 2 fucking weeks later?
Yeah, last year they did it like 2 weeks later. Yeah, but
that's obnoxious.
But I think the next PLE this time is going to be Forbidden Door in August. So I don't think they're doing All Out right away this year. I don't.
That's obnoxious to me, man. Because at least like WWE. They may have a long ass WrestleMania weekend, but at fucking least WWE has the decency to stop their regular PLEs at like 5 matches. 10 is obnoxious.
Yeah. Jaquan says Darby Allin and Bryan Danielson return. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. It was rumored that they were going to return, and I mean, I might go back and watch it. I did fucking spend $50 on that thing, so I can pretty much rewatch it whenever I want. So I'm probably going to go back and watch the return and see how that went down. But Tommy also said, I wish I could record with y'all, but Wisconsin mixed with hotel doesn't mix with recording. I feel it, Tommy. Shout out to Tommy. He's not here with us, but y'all ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We're in Atlanta, Georgia for Saturday night's main event. And the opening match was Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. And the match itself was great. We were talking about 2 of the biggest stars in the WWE when it comes to Randy and Drew McIntyre. However, Drew McIntyre came out with Logan Paul. Randy Orton came out with Jelly Belly or Jelly Nutella or what's his name? Jelly fucking...
Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll, thank you.
You uncultured Bud. Swine.
Whatever the fuck his name is. Fucking, he came out with Randy Orton, right? And I get it. He's a big star. He's a big music fucking influencer, whatever you want to call him. He's a big deal. All right. However, and this is where we're starting off hot, you guys. This is where I start to bitch because Logan Paul, he's going face to face with Jelly Roll during this match. And we're talking about Logan Paul, the guy who's faced Roman Reigns, the guy who's faced AJ Styles, the guy who has had so many great matches in the WWE, but he's getting punked by Jelly Roll. A guy that first of all, he's not a wrestler. He's an artist. He's not the most athletic, not the most physically intimidating guy, but he's getting punked by Jelly Roll. Logan Paul is getting punked by Jelly Roll. So that's where I start to complain here in this whole thing. Because they're trying to set up a match for SummerSlam. I get it. But Logan Paul just looks fucking ridiculous selling to this guy. However, the match itself was really good. There was a lot of stuff happening here. Randy Orton, he ended up getting the win after hitting an RKO on Drew McIntyre. But I'm just really mad. And it's not just because I'm a Logan Paul fan. But this is just, to me, this is too much. But thoughts on that, Mr. Blood?
So off the rip, I've already said before we even went live, I will not be kind to this show this evening. And it starts here. The only praise, and this is going to really tell you where I stand on this show. The only praise I have for this entire evening is that Jesse the Body Ventura was not on commentary. That is the only good thing about this show, because he fucking ruined the last one with his BS commentating in the main event of Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a steel cage at the last Saturday night's main event, where he just ruined the match with his spoiled brat fucking off-the-cuff commentary, going into business for himself on the microphone, talking about how it was BS and, the match, that was such a... He just ruined it. He ruined it. And I feel like WWE at least seems to me like he listened to the fans. They listened to the fans and didn't have him on commentary tonight, because he got a lot of online backlash. They got a lot of online backlash for that last show. So I feel like they were like, nope. And you can see when he's interviewing with Joe Tessitore, he's trying to take over and make it all about him. And Joe's like, and we'll get back to that later. And we'll bring it back to that later. And it's just like, bro, what are y'all doing to Joe Tessitore, man? You're fucking saddling him with this baggage, bro. Like, come on. We don't need Jesse the Body Ventura to make a good Saturday night's main event. Okay? Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. That's the only good thing about the show. This match pissed me off. And I'll tell you why. We're talking about Randy Orton, the guy who literally I have watched eat 3 attitude adjustments and one of his own RKOs in a match and still kick out. And we're talking about Drew McIntyre, the guy that we literally watched go to war in Hell in a Cell with CM Punk, eat like 2 or 3 GTSs, a fucking toolbox to the head, a Miss Claymore on his spine onto a staircase, a mouthful of beads, and then GTS with the beads in his mouth down his throat. He gets pinned on 1 RKO? You fucking kidding me? The guy who was just in Hell in a Cell the last Saturday night's main event against Damian Priest ate 2 South of Heavens, a Razor's Edge. He got hit with his, if I remember correctly, I think he got hit with his own Claymore kick. Okay. And he lost. That guy 1 RKO. Okay. So my believability goes out the window. Then I got to deal with this Logan Paul and Jelly Roll stuff. I like Jelly Roll a lot. You know why I respect Jelly Roll? He's been a lifetime long WWE fan. He's a super fan of WWE. That's why he collaborates with them. So because he's a massive fan, he respects the business. He's got my respect, and I like when I see him. Plus, he's fun, and he's game. And he's game for anything. With Austin Theory, he's game with Logan Paul. He fucking sold that Claymore kick, in my opinion. He got that looked believable the way that Drew hit him, and he sold it. I thought it was great. And he's really good at just, staying in it and having fun. I like the energy he brings. That being said, I hate that this entire match only happened to set up what will be a celebrity fucking tag match at SummerSlam, the biggest SummerSlam of all time, 2-night event SummerSlam this upcoming August. And now you put Randy Orton, a certified Hall of Famer, Drew McIntyre, certified Hall of Famer, and Logan Paul, and you put them all in a match where Drew and Randy are going to do all the work. Jelly's going to get 1 or 2 big moments in the match and a spot. Randy's going to get the pin off of whatever big move Jelly does. 1, 2, 3. That's what you have Randy and Drew doing at the biggest fucking SummerSlam of all time. And this entire match was basically just a fucking movie trailer to set that up. Bullshit.
I got a bone to pick with somebody in the comments. Jaquan. He says he doesn't have beef with good old Jesse Ventura. It's Corey Graves for him, he says. Corey Graves is a meat writer like Snug, Glazes, Solo, and MJF. What? Wait a goddamn minute, Jaquan.
I agree with Jaquan. I hate fucking Corey Graves. I hate him. Hate Corey Graves. I've been bitching and moaning on our podcast about that for weeks. Where is Pat McAfee? That I got to sit here and suffer this fucking fool in my fucking ear every goddamn Monday night. I thought I finally got rid of his ass, and they brought him back.
Yeah, definitely. But nah, dude, the whole thing with like Jelly Roll, man, like it's hard for me to get into it. It's hard for me to believe it because, look, I'm not trying to sound like a hater or nothing. But he's a big dude, right? He's a big dude. I think he's like been working out. He lost a lot of weight. But like if you see him like perform on stage doing his music, he doesn't he's not the most like energetic performer. Like he obviously because he's a big guy, but now I'm supposed to believe that he can go in a wrestling ring? Like I'm not buying it. I'm not with that.
To be fair, you got to think Big Daddy V, The Big Show, Yokozuna. Big Daddy V was horrible. You kidding me? I mean, Jelly Roll, I guarantee you, Jelly Roll can probably move 10 times better than the Great Khali.
You know, I'm actually surprised that that match was announced tonight. I thought it was going to be announced next week on SmackDown. But does this mean Logan's off Raw? Hopefully so. I don't want Logan back on Raw. I don't like how he fits there. He's more of a SmackDown person. You can tell where a wrestler fits just by how good they are in a certain brand. But I like Logan better on SmackDown. The match tonight between Randy and Drew was it was okay. I wish it would have went just a little bit longer. And I mean, Drew, you took so many things. You went to war with CM Punk. You went to war with Damian Priest. And one RKO and you're done. I know it's one of the best finishers of all time, and Snug can't even say anything about it because I know he's probably going to. But the RKO is one of the best finishers of all time. Yes, I get that. But that doesn't mean you can't. You get my point. I'm happy we're seeing Jelly Roll in a match. I want to see him in a match, and he's also one of my favorite music artists. So, yeah, I'm happy we're seeing this at SummerSlam.
Surprisingly, I didn't even notice that the thing about, Drew McIntyre getting pinned after one RKO, that wasn't the worst part for me. Yeah, this whole thing just with Jelly Roll just really gets on my nerves, I guess. I didn't really notice that. But we'll see. Hopefully they manage to hook me on this and things turn around as, the build-up for SummerSlam goes. And, I'm going to keep an open mind. And we'll see what happens with that. But the next segment was, it got me really, really hyped up a lot. Because it was Jade Cargill and Naomi. They had a little altercation here in the Saturday night's main event where security guards rushed. Nick Aldis came out, and Nick Aldis made the big announcement that there's going to be a big change to their match at Evolution tomorrow, and that is Bianca Belair, the EST, has been added to the match between Jade Cargill and Naomi, which already was supposed to be like some type of street fight or no disqualification match. But they've added another stipulation on top of that. They're going to add a special guest referee, and it's going to be Bianca. And the reason why I got so hyped for this is because me and Mr. Blood, I'm pulling Mr. Blood. We called this, y'all. I shit you not. Me and Mr. Blood talked about this on our one-on-one on TikTok Live on Thursday, a couple weeks ago. When we were booking Evolution, we said we want to see special guest referee Bianca because we don't know whose side Bianca's going to be on. Is it going to be Jade Cargill? Is it going to be Naomi? We don't know. But it looks like we're finally going to find out tomorrow at Evolution what's going to happen with Bianca Belair. And I'm actually looking forward to this match now. Because at first, I wasn't. Thoughts on that, Mr. Blood?
Yeah, we called it. I mean, I will say, I like this segment for the simple fact of, I know you guys weren't sold on Naomi's heel run. I was the only guy on the entire panel who liked her heel run from the start. And I will say that the longer she's in it, the more at home she feels in it. And I like the more confident she feels. I will say these two girls, the way they were going at each other, some of them shots look stiff. Like it looked at first like maybe Naomi got a little over energetic. And when she jumped on freaking Jade and Jade just fucking smashed her right out of the air, it looked like she hit her for real. And then she looked like she started laying. I was like, oh guys, hey, whoa, hey, remember, this is a story. It's not gonna hurt each other. like they're selling me on the story aspect of the nature of how personal it is, how visceral this relationship has become and how it's devolved into this circle of violence. So I'm here for that. I think I made this clear. I'm at the point where I don't want to see Jade wrestle. But for the sake of getting this story finally back on track or towards the end so we can all move on from this shit, Bianca being added, I'm going to put in a prediction right now for Evolution now that we know that, because we've already talked about the predictions for Evolution, but now I'm going to amend my prediction to one specific thing because it involves Bianca Belair. I think Bianca turns heel on Jade and sides with Naomi. I think a heel turn is inevitable. I think all this booze she was getting in her feud with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley kind of fed into that. The fans are getting sick of her. She's stale as fuck, and there's nothing they can do with her as a babyface that anybody's going to care about. We haven't gotten her as a heel on the main roster. I think it's time for something new. So, and if you ask me, you could have her turn heel on Jade and join up with Naomi, so maybe we get another women's tag team kind of put into the division, even though Naomi's got the briefcase.
Now, I'm also going to throw in a slight prediction. I think Bianca still turns heel, but she turns on both Jade and Naomi, because at this point, they're treating Bianca like Paul Heyman in this Punk, Roman, and Seth story leading into WrestleMania. That's basic. Bianca is Paul Heyman in that situation. She's the one in the middle. You have Naomi you have Naomi and Jade that are like basically pulling her arms off. Like she can't decide who. Well, she can, but you get my point. I wasn't expecting this at all. I thought, oh, okay, so they're just showing her to realize that, or show that that's who Tiffany or Trish is going to face at SummerSlam. And there's Naomi. So this was unexpected. Didn't expect it. But I'm glad that Bianca's added into this match.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Makes this match a lot more interesting. Tomorrow, the weekend in wrestling is not over because tomorrow we still got Evolution, man. And I'm pretty hyped for that. I'm not even gonna lie. Really looking forward to that. And the next match I was also looking really forward to. It was Jimmy Uso versus Solo. Now, remember how I mentioned that last night I didn't watch SmackDown. I took a night off because this whole entire week has been super busy for us. So I don't know what happened last night on SmackDown. However, I didn't have to watch SmackDown last night to be interested in this match because the commentators, who was it? Michael Cole and
Barrett.
Wade Barrett. Thank you. They explained this really well. Solo Sikoa got embarrassed last night on Friday Night SmackDown. Jimmy Uso pinned Solo Sikoa last night on SmackDown. So this is the second time that Solo Sikoa has been pinned as a United States champion. So Solo Sikoa, he wants some revenge. He wants to, make up for that. And just what that? Not even just forgetting the part that they're brothers, that they have history. Like, fuck all that. Like, just the fact that what happened last night on SmackDown made this match so interesting to me, because this Solo that we saw today was a way more serious Solo. Although he came out with this crew and, his crew helped him, he was pissed off. Solo was pissed off. He was telling his people, hey, back up. I got this. I want to do this myself. Solo he wasn't his usual goofy self. He wasn't being like, the funny Solo that, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of us really, really love and enjoy. This match was serious, and it was a lot of fun to see these two go at it. Solo Sikoa ended up winning, but overall, I thought the build-up for this got me hooked, man, and I really enjoyed this match. But what did you guys think?
So I had a lot of issues tonight with Peacock specifically, which killed a lot of my enthusiasm for the show. One of my problems was something up with their broadcast was just messed up all night. My show kept freezing on ads for minutes at a time. I'd keep having to close out the app, sit through more ads to get back to the action. It would freeze during the action. And a lot of that happened during this match. Pardon me. And the match itself, it's hard for me to even say if it was good to great because I missed most of it due to their stupid fucking broadcast connection. As far as it's concerned, I will say that I think it is horrible booking to have your newly crowned champion pinned twice on free TV right after he's won a title. There's a difference between, he's a jobber, so he's not supposed to have credibility, and putting a fucking championship on him where he's supposed to be the head of a whole division, and you are literally having him job out to anyone and everyone on free TV. But what, on the special TV program, on the special shows, he gets to retain and win with the help of someone else putting their foot up against him so he can get leverage on a pin. So what you're telling me is we already knew Solo was a clown, right? We already knew that because they've destroyed his credibility over a year ago. The problem that I have is, yeah, they destroyed his credibility over a year ago because he couldn't buy a fucking win even when he was running the Bloodline 2.0, Snug. So literally, the problem is he hasn't been credible since he beat John Cena, and then they destroyed him after that. As far as it's concerned, we're at the point now where Solo is not a believable champion, and I don't know if that's the point. I don't know if that's on purpose, but it's starting to feel like it. Whatever it is they are doing with him, he's game for it. But dude, I don't believe for a second he has a chance of beating anyone at all without help. I don't think he could beat. I'm at the point where I don't even think he could beat. I'm gonna be real here, Otis or Akira Tozawa without assistance, because those guys put up fights against Gunther and made Gunther sweat. I'm supposed to believe that Solo could cakewalk them now. I don't like it. And the one thing that really pissed me off, fucking bringing Jacob Fatu out there 3 minutes after the fact when they've already got Jay fucking down and out. Like, you couldn't come down 3 minutes early. You couldn't run to the ring. Or Jimmy, sorry. You couldn't run to the ring. Like, it's the same shit with fucking Penta at the last event. Punk's getting his ass stomped out at Night of Champions. Here comes Penta down to the ring, just dancing, and Cero Miedo and everybody in the crowd. Punk's over there like, help me! Like, it's the same thing here. Like, Jimmy's halfway to meeting freaking Jesus, halfway to the fucking the goddamn Elton John, Prince, and Michael Jackson concert in the sky, and you got him coming down here in a balaclava or a gooner mask, and he's just like, yeah, look at my new shirt. I'm just gonna walk down to this ring. Jimmy's over there like, like, where's the urgency?
I thought this was Jimmy's night. It should have been Jimmy's night. Jimmy should have won tonight. He should have. Solo is not credible. You have him get pinned twice, which I'm pretty sure by the same person. Jimmy pinned him twice. I see this happening at SummerSlam. Them two, one more time, Jimmy takes the title. I see it. And why have Jacob come out minutes? Why have him come out later after the fact that, oh, Jimmy needs help? Now, let's put it in this way. If Jacob and Jay swapped positions, Jay would have been out there as soon as Jimmy needed help. I'm nothing against Jacob or Jimmy or anyone in this except for Solo, because he's the main person that I'm mad at right now. Solo cannot win without help. And if he is going to be a champion, he needs to get a win by himself. The last good title match I feel like he had was at Cody at SummerSlam last year. That's the last good title match.
I got something to add to that too. Because at this point with Solo, you got to ask yourself, with all the interference, with all the jumping, with all this shit that Nick Aldis has talked to it's not the Bloodline anymore, but we're going to still call them the Bloodline because we don't got a fucking name for them, to the Bloodline, all the shit that Nick Aldis talked to them last night and last week about defending that title, about, oh, you think you run the place, well, you don't, I'm in charge. You think Nick Aldis would just be a good, if I'm the GM, you know what I'm doing when I see this shit happen on my show every week? Hey, Jimmy, you're going one-on-one with Solo, and Solo, you're defending that title. And if any of your crew come down to the ring, I'm stripping you of the championship. One-on-one, everyone is banned from ringside. If you cheat, I strip you of the title. If your crew comes out, I strip you of the title. If anyone gets involved in that match on either side, I strip you of that title or the match restarts. That's what I would do, because I've been watching wrestling for 25 fucking years, so I understand that this happens 10 times a year across 10 different storylines. How have we not figured this out yet? We already know steel cages don't fucking work. That's why we put Hell in a Cell in there to put a roof on it so no one can climb over. But then they have the fucking goddamn chain cutters. So someone just lops the door off anyway. You got to ban people from ringside, bro. Do it for SummerSlam.
Don't forget Kane ripping the door off to get to the Undertaker.
Kane literally just ripped that shit off like it was goddamn butter. Like, literally, if they get a rematch at Clash in Paris or at SummerSlam, if Nick Aldis, or they don't book this to where it makes sense, to where Solo literally cannot snake his way out of this with the help of others, I'm going to think these are the dumbest writers on the planet. Because it's not bulletproof. You could pour water on it. It's so goddamn paper thin, it'll tear the page in half. You got to make it make sense, guys, because it doesn't make sense. Because if I'm the ref, I'm also looking at that replay. I'm going, oh, wait, isn't the ref's decision final? Oh, then restart the match. Y'all, get out of here. Restart the match. Because the ref has that power. They play the fucking replay on the Tron. She can see it. Restart the match. Make it make sense.
Anyways, I feel like that this was match of the night for me, and they need to do better when coming with Solo and Jimmy and all that.
Yeah, I also forgot to mention that this was Jimmy Uso's first singles title shot ever, which is crazy to think about because of how long Jimmy Uso has been in the fucking WWE. But Solo Sikoa, his younger brother, he's already United States champion. You know, he's beaten John Cena. He's done all these things. But this is Jimmy Uso's first fucking singles title shot ever. I thought that was fucking crazy. But I have one more question for you guys before we move on. When the whole thing happened after the match, the afterbirth, where Jacob Fatu came out and he did the save when Jimmy Uso was getting jumped by the new bloodline 3.0 or 2.0, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Is it me? Was I the only one that was thinking, where is Roman? Is Roman going to come out right now? Did anyone else think that, or was that just me?
First thing I thought was, why are we still doing this? Because even though it's not the bloodline anymore, I'm sick of this whole thing. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of the stories. I'm sick of the faction. I've said this again. I'm going to put the nail in the coffin and say it one more time. This should have ended either at War Games last year when they were all back together, reunited one last time on the same page. And then because if you ask me, we never even needed the one-on-one between Solo and Roman at the inaugural Raw on Netflix. We didn't even need that match. The Bloodline 1.0 won the story at War Games last year. Okay. Ulafala should have gotten ripped off of Solo back then. What I thought when this was over was, I know they're not going to have Roman come out on some fucking Saturday night's main event. I knew that. I just knew it. You going to make that man fly out there for what, a 11-minute match? Nah. They're saving his ass for SummerSlam at this point, or the build to Clash in Paris leading into SummerSlam, because they're not going to, I don't think he's ever getting involved in that story again, because at this point, Solo's too bottom tier for Solo to have to deal, or for Roman to have to deal with.
So what story would you put him in then?
Back in the fucking one that he's supposed to be in with Seth and CM Punk on Raw. We're still waiting on that pin to drop. We haven't seen this man since the Raw after Mania when him and Punk got laid out. We're waiting on that. This man's been on vacation for fucking almost 3 months.
I wasn't thinking where's Roman, because I know that they're not going to throw him back in this. I was thinking, where the fuck is Jay? Because Jay can just make a little appearance in a story, and then, maybe after the fact you could have Braun Breaker spear him or something like that. But I'm pretty sure he has a rib injury right now. I saw something on TikTok, like after his match with Bronson, was like a bulge around where his rib is, and it was like either pointing to a rib injury or something. I don't know, but I think he's injured right now, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of getting tired of this, and why are they calling them the MFTs?
Because originally when the MFT thing got brought up last year, when they debuted the Tongans, they started calling them MFTs because they weren't calling that in the original Bloodline story. No one knew what the fuck it was, and everybody was trying to speculate on what it meant, and they actually never explained to us in that story last year what MFT stood for. We actually got what MFT stood for the week before this past Friday. They finally told us that MFT, and this is how stupid this is, and it doesn't make sense when you say these are my MFTs. That doesn't work for this. It stands for my family tree. Is what Solo said on Friday night, goddamn SmackDown, Friday before last. He said, my family tree, my MFTs. That doesn't make sense. You're referring to these people as this is my family tree. These are my family trees. Family. You have exactly. JC is literally not a Fatu, Anawahi, or a god, or like he's not. He's none of those things. Like it's stupid. I'm ready for them to just drop this, and I know we're not dropping this anytime soon.
Yeah, they mentioned that a lot tonight. I heard that a lot. The MFTs, they were really pushing that tonight for some odd reason. But let's move on, you guys. The next match, Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. And I got to be honest with you guys, I don't even know where to begin with this match, man, because we have two big stars in this match, Seth Rollins versus LA Knight, right? But I'm going to start it off like this. And I'm sorry for all you LA Knight fans. I didn't care for this match. I was not really hyped for this match at all whatsoever. And it's not because of Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, he's really important right now in every storyline moving forward. He's way more important as far as like the build to what can happen in the WWE. He's a Money in the Bank briefcase winner. He has a beef with CM Punk. He can cash in on Gunther. He can cash in on John Cena. There's a lot more interest for me personally involved with Seth Rollins. But when it comes to LA Knight, to me, I'm sorry, but I'm over LA Knight. I'm done with LA Knight. To me, he's just a catchphrase now at this point. I do not care for LA Knight anymore. I'm sorry. I'm done with him. So this match to me was like, I do not care who wins anymore. However, the least thing that I ever expected to happen in this match was an injury angle with Seth Rollins, and I'm calling it an angle because I hope that's what it is. I hope it's an angle. I hope Seth Rollins really didn't re-injure himself again, and I want to believe that because I saw the replay. I didn't see anything weird go down in that replay. Seth Rollins, he did a moonsault off the ropes, and to me, he landed cleanly. Now, I don't know for sure if he really got injured. I hope he didn't, because if he did get injured, if Seth Rollins got injured, we are all fucked. Because he was the start of a lot of entertaining things that could possibly go down in the WWE. If Seth Rollins gets injured and he's out of commission, you can say goodbye to the Money in the Bank briefcase. You can say goodbye to a potential cash in to either Gunther or John Cena. You can say goodbye to, what happens to the faction with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed? What happens with Paul Heyman? If Seth Rollins is really injured, I'm sorry, but that would be fucking insane. So I hope this is just an angle that was being shot. LA Knight hit the BFT on Seth Rollins, which to me looked like it was just called on the fly. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm genuinely concerned. Mr. Blood, what do you think is going on here?
Yeah, when we were in the chat during the show, I actually literally said I was, because you said it's a work, you hope it's a work, and I was like, I don't know, brother. That the ending to that felt extremely rushed and lackluster, like they had to do it just to get the match over with without calling it off. Because if you look at LA Knight's face when he leaves the ring, he looks extremely frustrated. He looks extremely caught off guard, and he looks very aggravated as he gets out of the ring. He didn't celebrate. He didn't seem happy. He got out of there as quick as possible. They called the ringside doctor over. They called another doctor down to the ring, and they made it look legitimate. Here's the only thing. If it's not legitimate, they didn't do the typical thing where they cut away from the ring, and they just do that flyover of the audience. So that's a partial thing, but it's you got to look at the signs and wonder, because they normally cut away from the ring, and they didn't. They did have a ringside doctor come over. They did have the ref, but we never saw an X get thrown up. But it looked like they had to call that finish as quickly as possible. It looks like Seth just stood up, ate it, got pinned. 1, 2, 3. LA Knight looked extremely aggravated. No happy ending, no celebration. And this entire feud was supposed to be a mini feud for LA Knight and Seth Rollins, just to pass time leading into Clash of Paris and SummerSlam. That's what it was touted as. Now, I will say that if Seth is legitimately injured, I disagree with you on the fact that all these stories have to stop. And I will tell you why. The only story that actually has to stop would be if Seth cashed in on Cena. Because if Seth is injured long enough or longer than Cena holds it, then that's gone. However, the briefcase specifically, you can cash it in up to 1 year from winning it. So they can always have that on the back burner, pardon me, push any stories that they were going to do back. And even if Seth has to be off TV for a little while, there's a couple of things I think you could do. If Becky finishes her shit with Bayley and Lyra, you could have Becky wind up being the conduit for Seth, where she leads the faction in his place as his emissary. Okay? So you have his emissary and you have the Oracle. Or Braun Breaker takes over because they were already pushing that whole thing where he turns on Seth anyway. So why not give him a little too big for his britches where he thinks he's in charge? And then when Seth comes back, they butt heads and he turns on Seth then. That's possible. Seth can still hold the briefcase, or Seth can pass the briefcase off to Paul Heyman to keep holding so everybody remembers. And maybe, just maybe, Braun takes the briefcase and steals it from Paul Heyman to cash in himself. So there's still tons of ways these stories could go. That being said, we're going to have to wait till tomorrow for the wrestling news or Monday for a confirmation. I genuinely hope Seth is not hurt. But we will have to wait and see.
Yeah, I hope Seth isn't hurt because, to be honest, that throws a lot away. I mean, not a lot, but it throws quite a bit away. You have to push. You don't have to necessarily. You can push off the Braun Breaker turning on Seth. You can push it just a little bit, but not really. That's what I see. It throws out the Penta and Seth thing because I'm pretty sure that's still going on. But yeah, I just don't think that's a work because you could. I mean, and I'm not saying that. Oh, I think it's not a work just because of this reason. Michael Cole said that LA Knight told the doctor that, or not LA Knight, Seth Rollins told the doctor that he could not compete, and that's why LA just hit the BFT 1, 2, 3. And I don't think it's a work because, like Blood said, LA Knight did not look happy. He's not like celebrating doing the little thing that he does on that thing. I don't know how to do it. But I don't think it's a word. I don't. Then again, it could be because that's just LA Knight's attitude in general. He's always like that. Am I wrong? So I don't know. I'm in the middle, but I'm leaning more on this isn't a work. The match was great. Second match of the night for me.
The other thing, too, just really quick before we move on, that leads me to believe that this is a work. If you're Seth Rollins, if you're a professional athlete, if you know your knees are not 100%, they're surgically repaired, why would you be doing moonsaults off the ropes to land that hard on your knees in that way? Like, those are the things you should be avoiding if you are, in the risk of getting re-injured. Like, the whole point of being a pro wrestler is protecting yourself, protecting your opponent. If you've had surgery on your knee before, why the fuck would you be doing moonsaults off the ropes? That's the part that I don't understand. That's the part that I'm like, this has to be a work, because if that was a real risk, if you're getting paid millions of dollars to do this, then you should not be doing shit like that. Am I crazy?
No, but here's the other part where it could be a potential work. And here's the biggest point that you can really point to as evidence. When Seth wrestled 2 nights in a row at WrestleMania last year, he literally already had blown out his meniscus entirely. He already had the knee had been torn for 3 months at that point, and he wrestled both of those nights on that torn knee. He didn't get surgery until the week after WrestleMania. He still wrestled 2 full fucking matches with a blown out knee. So for me, who I can say I've seen Seth literally wrestle on a blown out knee, I doubt that if he blew his knee out in the match even slightly, unless it's the way that he did when he blew it out when he was buckle bombing Kane all those years ago. This was nowhere to that degree. This was a jolt in the knee. I doubt that would have stopped him from finishing the match. So let's hope it's a work, because evidence leans that way.
Most definitely. All right, y'all. Let's go on to the major main event of the night. The match of the year, y'all. Literally 5-star Dave Meltzer match right here, y'all. Goldberg versus Gunther. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. But god damn it, man. As soon as this fucking match started and I saw the lockup, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. One of the weakest lockups I have ever seen at the start of any fucking wrestling match ever, let alone the main event of a fucking WWE televised fucking show. But I gotta give Gunther props, man, for putting in the work, making Goldberg look like $1 million. And for everyone who loves to hate on Gunther, toxic, Gunther did his fucking job tonight. And he had a competitive match. He went 50-50 with Goldberg. We saw the final, quote unquote, final spear, the final jackhammer, and excuse me, in Goldberg's career. But Gunther retained. Thank the wrestling gods that Gunther retained. And Gunther choked out Goldberg. And that was the main event. It's Saturday night's main event. Mr. Blood, let me just ask you, please, do not hold back on this and tell me your honest thoughts about this main event.
Oh, the moment the match started, my ass was in our fucking chat. The moment it started, the first thing I said, Gunther is already selling his ass off for Goldberg off that weak ass push. As a fucking former professional wrestler myself, when I watched the lockup of a guy who is a quote unquote 30-year veteran in Goldberg, which is bullshit, 30 years my ass. He spent more time not wrestling than wrestling. And if you can call 3 to 6 minute matches wrestling when you have a 4-move set, then sure. I was pissed because the whole time I'm sitting here thinking, I'm watching Gunther flop around like a fish for this man. The weak-ass lockup, the weak-ass clothesline, the weak-ass spears, and the whole time I'm in the chat like, I hope to God that Gunther's neck and spine survive this match because God forbid Goldberg drop him on his head like he damn near did to The Undertaker. The entire match, I spent worried that Gunther was going to get injured due to the sloppiness of Goldberg. And Jesus tap dancing Christ. I mean, you know how soft Goldberg has to have gotten to where it took 3 chops and his chest was purple and blue. 3 chops, purple and blue. I watched Jay eat like fucking 11 of those before his chest started turning like deep red. Okay. How brittle is this man? He has no business in a WWE ring at this point. And he's too soft, too fucking tired. This was literally always going to be a match based on Gunther's ability to make Goldberg look good. And Snug, you're being real goddamn generous when you're saying that Gunther made him look like $1 million, because what a sad ass looking $1 million. If that's what $1 million looks like, then let me tell you this. He made him look like $1 million after tax. You know, so as far as it's concerned, you know, that, I mean, and you know, I said this too. You want, and here's a soundbite for you. You want to know how? Here's a soundbite, and I want you to clip this shit. You know how I know WWE did not give a fuck that this was Goldberg's last match, other than using him to build a marquee match, and all of this. I want you to remember at the expense of Jey Uso for this bullshit. Okay. During the fact that when he lost, the moment Gunther got out of the ring, I watched Goldberg get up to his knees and hands, and it cuts to ads for 3.5 minutes. And I'm thinking, did they just end the show? After the ads, it cuts back randomly, stops an ad I'm watching in the middle of the ad, and just abruptly throws it back to Goldberg surrounded by all of his friends and security and family in the ring. He's talking for about 20 seconds, saying goodbye to this, and they cut his speech off in the middle of him talking and go straight to a promotional video package for Charlotte Flair as the show is over, and I see in the bottom right corner of my screen up next, and it's some show in a square. They couldn't even give this man the allotted time to say his farewells or goodbyes. If that is his last match, what a fucking wet ass fart that was. Like, I'm talking shit your pants. You better itch it before it dries. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, dude, what a waste of a main event. What a waste of Gunther's time. And Snug, because you had your ear out, I want you to hear this. What a waste of a main event. What a waste of Gunther's time. What a waste of Jey Uso's World Heavyweight Championship reign. Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Oh, don't I got a lot to say about this too? I did not want to see this match. I actually did want to at first. Back in fucking December. Here's what should have happened. You shouldn't have had the triple threat at the first Saturday Night main event that they brought back in December, by the way, which Gunther and Goldberg's first encounter was in October at Bad Blood. Okay. Instead of doing this a month later, you wait until July. You wait until July to do this shit, and now it's fucking stale. Here's what I would have done. Take the triple threat between Gunther, Damian, and Finn. Save that to the second Saturday night's main event that was in my home state. And you take that triple threat, put it where Jey had his first shot at Gunther's title. Okay? Have Jey still win the Rumble. Have Jey still win at WrestleMania. And then we get a longer time because we don't have to see this shit again. This shouldn't have happened. Gunther shouldn't have beat Jey. Like, I don't remember when. At the Raw after Money in the Bank. It's just stupid. You waste a perfectly good workhorse, as in Jey Uso, for a workhorse title. And Gunther is treating the World Heavyweight Championship like it's the WWE Undisputed fucking Championship. That is bullshit. Bullshit. Waste of everyone's time. IWC. I don't give a damn if you don't like Jey. He is credible. More credible than his damn brother. I'm talking about Solo, by the way. Jimmy's actually credible. It's stupid. This is stupid. Now what do you do next with Gunther other than CM Punk? That's what I see them doing next. CM Punk is next for Gunther, and then you have nothing left to do with Gunther. That's how his first title reign went. Okay? Interesting title match against Randy Orton. Now what the hell do you do with him? It's stupid.
Literally, as we were recording this, someone left a comment on our socials and said, I don't think this is Goldberg's last match. And I was like, damn it. I don't know, man, but I'm just glad Gunther won, because goddamn, if Goldberg would have won this, I don't know what I would have done. But hey, that was Saturday night's main event. We got Evolution tomorrow, fellas. Are we looking forward to Evolution tomorrow? I am.
I'm extremely excited for Evolution, for that tag match specifically. I want to see Charlotte face to face with Sol Ruca in that goddamn ring.
I'm more excited than whatever the pile of horse shit this was.
Absolutely. Honestly, this was probably, out of all the Saturday night main events that they've had since they brought this back, this was the worst one.
Fair enough, Mr. Blood. Why don't you do the honors, please, if you will? Get us up out of here.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us here on this Saturday night. This was not the main event, however. This was the snug review of Saturday night's bullshit main event. And as far as it is concerned, if you'd like to catch us live every Monday and Friday after Raw and SmackDown go off the air respectively on Spotify or Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, we also go live multicasted on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And during the shows, if you like reaction content, Snug, the leader of Head Wrestling, right there in the middle with that nice tipsy look on his face, clips and posts live reactions just moment as they go off the air during the actual live broadcasts. You can also catch me and Snug every Thursday night on TikTok Live for one-on-ones at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Central, where we pick random wrestling topics to go over. And tomorrow we are going to have WWE's Evolution 2, way too long since the first one. Not sure if we're doing an after show review tomorrow, but we just might, but we will let you know. And we will keep you up to date on all of our socials ahead of time prior to us choosing to do or not to do the review. Until then, guys, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. 4 letters.
4 letters.
1 word.